Hello guys, what is up? My name is Olivia and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe down below so you can see all my new videos, and be sure to give this one a thumbs up if you like it. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a Morphe 39A review and quick little look. I got this palette for Christmas and I am obsessed with it already. I have used it before, so I kind of know how it works, but I definitely have not used all the shades. If you want to see that, then keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about the palette itself. Obviously, this palette is huge, which I love that Morphe did, that they created the bigger palette, because the standard palette size is this. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger, but I love it. And also, when you open it up, you have a sheet of all of the shade names, which I also really like because with the other Morphe palettes, you didn't get that. So I like that these ones do have the names on this little removable sheet. The thing I'm most excited about is that these transitional shades in this middle row right here are like bigger than the normal pan size because you use them the most, obviously. And then all of the other shades are like the standard pan size. But I really love how they switched up the transition shades and made them a little bit bigger and added like an extra row. So I really love the new layout of the Morphe palettes. As for the shade range of the shadows, I think it's incredible. You have like 4 cool toned transition shades and like 3 warm tones, which I think is great because really you have a transition for every single look. I also love how there's like different sections to the palette. Like up here on this side, you can make a warm brown look. This one you can go for a more red warm toned look, and then on the bottom you have 2 different cool toned looks with the greens and the blues. I love how many blue shades are incorporated into this palette because for some people this might be their only palette, and like other palettes, if there's one blue shade you can't make a look out of that. So I like how there's whole looks in this palette and so many of them. Like really, I feel like you could have just this eyeshadow palette and be set with any shadow you'd need for any look. I will say that I wish there was like a brow bone highlight shade. They don't really have a light white shade, let alone a shimmery one. So that is something that I would have to go to another palette for. Like the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette has these 2 up in this corner, which are the ones I typically use for my brow bone highlight. But I wish they would have included that in the Morphe 39A, but so many people have like just normal highlighters you can put on your brow bone and inner corner, and other palettes that do include them, that I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now moving on to talk about the formula of the shadows, I'm going to go ahead and swatch a few on my arm, and then I will show you like how they apply to the eyes in a minute. For swatches, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will show you guys like a close-up of what they look like. Okay, so here are the swatches. This is the first time I've swatched any of them, and I just grabbed a few from each column and put them on my arm. But the first thing I noticed was that the shimmery shadows are much creamier than the matte ones, and they are way more blendable. I don't know why that is because usually it's opposite and the shimmery ones tend to be a little more grainy. But these ones applied really nicely, at least on my arm, especially this blue one, this copper one, and this blue one over here. As you can see, this black is not as dark and black as I was like it to be. Like I'd like the matte shades to be a little bit more pigmented. Same thing with this green. You can see how it kind of tails off at the end and doesn't really have full color. This pink and this purpley brown shade over here though, those ones do have good pigment and payoff. So I think it's a little bit of hit or miss with the colors, but the shimmers seem to be pretty consistent with their formula and their application, which I'm really pleased with. Alright, now to start off this look, I'm going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion and just apply that all over my lids and then set it with just a white shadow. For my transition color today, I'm going to be using the shade Define Me right here and my Morphe R37 brush. I'm not really sure what look I want to go for today. I think I might do like a purpley red look maybe, but we'll see how it turns out. So I'm just going to apply this into my crease and outer corner a little bit. color is definitely super pigmented and it's blending really well. Like I don't see any like streak marks or like rough patches. And the color payoff is really nice, like it looks like it does in the pan. So I'm really liking this so far. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade called Sculpt and my Morphe R37 brush again, but I'm going to keep this one a little bit more into the crease just to darken up the transition a little bit. So these transition shades seem to be super pigmented and blendable, which is nice because I also like to layer transitional shades on top of each other, and if they don't lay well together, then it just doesn't turn out very well. But these shadows are actually really, really nice and creamy. Up the crease a little bit more, I'm going to be taking my Sephora Airbrush Crease Brush, and this shade Passion right here is this dark plummy burgundy shade, and I'm going to focus this right into my crease and a little bit onto the outer corner again. Really good about the shades applying the way they look in the pan, so it's not like you see one color in the pan and it goes on differently on the eye, and they layer on top of each other super well, so it's not like if you put a transitional shade and then another shade on top of it, they're not gonna like blend each other away or mix together. Like they'll still be their own colors and still have like their own look. To darken up my outer corner, I'm going to be taking my Morphe M433 brush in this shade Forever and applying this to my outer corner and crease. The shade is pigmented. Oh my goodness, the shade is so pigmented. But it's super blendable. Oh my goodness. I'm like really impressed right now with how that just applied. That was so pigmented. Oh my god. I'm shook. Okay, so obviously that shade was super pigmented. It looks good. Wow. Wow, like I'm really impressed. Like I think Morphe has improved so much. I've never had a Morphe palette before, but I've used like my friends and just like through videos and stuff, and I've seen the way they apply on other people, and I've seen the way like they apply over camera, and I think Morphe has really improved so much, even from their regular like 35O or like 35M, stuff like that, like to this 39A. It's incredible to me to see how this brand is growing, and like just stuff like that makes me so happy for brands, because this palette so far is literally incredible. Like, look at this. Come on. I'm just gonna go back in with my Morphe R37 brush and blend all of this out. To finish off my lid, I'm going to take my Sephora Airbrush eyeshadow brush and this shade called Trendy, and I'm just going to apply this all over the lid. dry. I didn't even... Let me see how it blends out. Hold on. Guys, I just applied that dry and it was so pigmented and metallic on its own. Like I said before, these shimmery metallic shades are so creamy. I don't know what it is or how they like got that, but oh my gosh. I'm gonna take this shade Artistic right here and just apply that to my inner corner to brighten it up a little bit. Not inner corner, inner lid to brighten it up a little bit. And just see how these shimmery shades apply on top of each other. Okay, yeah, it's definitely there. I can definitely see it. I'm just not as impressed as I was by the other one. And maybe it's because I already have the other one on. But, I mean, it's there, it's noticeable, it did make a difference. To finish off the eye look, I'm going to take the shade we used called Forever and my Morphe M432 brush and just apply that right to my lash line. Apply this halfway just to darken it up a little bit. But that applied really smoothly underneath. I really like the way that looks. They're easy to get in there tight, and I forgot to mention, but there is not a lot of fallout, which is good, but there is some, but that's expected. Like, it's an eyeshadow palette. There's definitely going to be fallout, so I actually really like that. There's not a ton. Like, I think it's a reasonable amount, but it doesn't get like everywhere. Like, and it doesn't fall down onto your face. Most of it happens in the pan. To buff out this shade, I'm going to take my Morphe M506 and the first shade we used in Define Me and just buff this out. Okay, I'm gonna go finish the other eye off camera and then I'll be right back. I just finished up my eyes off camera. I added a little bit of highlight and mascara, and I really love the way that it turned out. I'm about to give you my final thoughts, but I'm just gonna say this look is probably one of my favorites that I've done, and I think it just turned out so well. This palette is so amazing to me. Morphe is just an amazing brand. Like, I really do love their brand just because they're so inexpensive and they have so many palettes and products and brushes. Like, as you can see, most of the brushes I use are Morphe, and I just love how they're so inexpensive but also so high-end feeling. So this is a palette I would definitely recommend. Their color shade, like their shade range is incredible. The pigment is incredible. Like, it's just all around such a good palette, and obviously there's so many looks you can do with it. And if you were going to like invest in one palette, or like if you can only have one palette, I definitely think that this one would be a good go-to because it has literally the cool tones, the warm tones, the reds, the browns, the pinks, the oranges. Like, whatever you need is probably in this palette except for the highlighting shades, but you can get those from anywhere, so I really don't think it's a big deal. For me, this palette is definitely one I would recommend. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment and subscribe down below. I'm always looking for new video ideas, and also if you have any questions, comment those down below because I'm going to compile all the questions to do a quick Q&A maybe someday. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.